Greetings and salutations to one and all. Welcome to the end of the night shift week. Tonight we do a thing we call Real Talk. Happy hump day to you. Real Talk is also known as Marlon's favorite night shift show. I want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Across the pond if you are tuning in. Across the globe if you're tuning in. Those on PEMGTV.com, glad to have you. And of course, right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, KevinStew.com. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't even try.
Be okay. Come festival time, we love to get on, yeah.
Kicking it off tonight with a little rupee.
When the DJ put on all our favorite song, yeah.
It's called I'll Be Okay.
We feeling our soul. We living and we jamming and we singing and we drinking and we thinking and we love it well. I am so glad to be born. Take whatever, do whatever, say whatever.
Would you be okay with having just that?
You want to take what's mine. I'll be okay, be okay, be okay. Once I've got my music, I'll be fine. Take away everything I own. Take away.
Can you imagine? Take away everything that you own. What is the one thing you'd want to be left with? I want to say thanks to Paul C Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. Paul C Media Group, when being in a moment is priceless. Give them a call. 754-999-6020. They can do everything you see right here on KevinStew.com. Create your website, host your website, provide streaming services on your website. If you don't have a website and you still have an event you want to stream, they can take care of that too. Let's say you don't want to stream anything, you just want to capture the moment.
You can take what you want to.
Still, you can give them a link, 754-999-6020. Or check them out at paulcmg.com. You know, if you take away everything I own and leave me with just this show, I'll be okay. You can't take my kids though. They're off limits. My children are off limits. Oh, I thank you very much. See, I got to love my stew potters. Comment in the stew pot says, hey, listen. I want the one thing that I have to be the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Which reminds me, I you know, let me, Rupee, I kind of gonna have to put you upon pause. Or, you know what, I'll play you really low. Alright, so I want to say a big thanks to one of the potters. I got an email that one of the potters went on the site and set up monthly donations to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Thank you. I can't tell you how grateful I am. It brought tears to my eyes, literally brought tears to my eyes. Thank you. Because it just shows that at least one person can recognize that, hey, this is a movement and there are a lot of moving parts that need to get taken care of in the movement. Much love. With that being said, when you visit kevinstew.com, there's a little donation button, donate here. It's giving your contribution to keeping the show running and keeping the show alive, you know? Taking care of little things. And every little bit helps. I do encourage you to also share. And not only the show that is live, you can share from the archives. Tell people about it. There are 3 different nights of shows. There's Monday night with community and finance. I've been doing more community than finance lately, but every now and then I toss some finance in there. On Tuesday there's healthy love. And on Wednesdays we do real talk. A little bit of something for everybody. And if you haven't shared and if you haven't donated, don't feel bad. There's still time. And if you do feel bad, perfect. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Guilt and shame. So you're in the right place at the right time to do the right thing. So, hey, what can we do but get on with it? Big ups to those in the stew pot, like I said. If you're wondering what the stew pot is, it's what others call a chat room. But we're very fancy over here on kevinstew.com. So we have the stew pot. And it's where we keep things bubbling. Come on in. The water is always fine. And why keep all this valuable info to myself? I share, and share. I thank you. Yeah, so the stew pot is always there. You are welcome to jump on in. The water is always fine. And it's a judgment-free zone. So come with, even if you have opposing views, all views are welcome. Because nobody sees everything the same way as everybody else. So come bearing gifts of your knowledge. Yeah. Your knowledge is a gift. It's a gift to us because now we have dialogue and we get to share and learn something from each other. So come on over, kevinstew.com. Easy peasy. If you don't want to put your name in there, fine. Remain anonymous. I don't mind. If you want to let me know who you are, you can do so too. You can also call and text 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can WhatsApp that same number. You can email djkevinstew@gmail.com or just go to kevinstew.com and just go to the contact me section at the bottom of the page. So many ways. Oh, there's Skype. Kevin.stew. See? All the bases are covered. Link me. Alright, so generally people have a strong desire to remain affiliated with others. Have you noticed? If you haven't, I don't know where you've been. It's probably something because you never really took the time out to pay attention. But it happens. We do that. We have the desire to remain affiliated with others. We always want to be in contact, at least with one person. We're social beings. That's what we do. This stems from our evolution of depending on others for physical and emotional needs. Belonging to a group increases the likelihood of our survival. Therefore, we often comport ourselves, in ways that will increase our value and our acceptance to other individuals. A means of maintaining attachments is to have other people possess positive feelings and beliefs regarding us. However, because there's always a however, a but and. However, to do this effectively, we also need to hold such positive emotions and thoughts about ourselves. A lot of it starts with the self. And so, guilt and shame are two emotions that can impact our favor with other people as well as our own self-concept. These are powered emotions that can be experienced when an individual has committed an unacceptable act. For those who have such reactions, pro-social behavior is often promoted. Now, although there is no clear consensus on what constitutes these two emotions, some researchers have articulated similarities between them as well as features that differentiate them. Now, when you talk about that unacceptable act, we all have had at least one such act. Either we have committed that act or that act was committed against us. And it's never a good feeling. It's never that thing that you, whether receiving it or committing it, you really want to say, you know what, I did that. So when you're looking at guilt and shame, and sometimes you don't even know which one of them it is that you're experiencing, if it is the guilt or the shame. But what are some of the similarities of guilt and shame? Well, they stem from failures or misdeeds. They require social connectedness and can either hinder or promote positive interpersonal relationships. They require self-reflection, acceptance that can be flawed, acceptance of responsibility for a wrongdoing. And, with looking at cognitive biases, you can see how some of these things can be flawed. Some of these concepts, some of these ideas. Now, some of the differences between guilt and shame include the fact that guilt arises from doing a quote-unquote bad thing, whereas shame impacts one's self-perception. So the guilt is the doing the thing, and the shame is how you see yourself after the thing. That is the I am a bad person versus I did a bad thing. Guilt derives from a belief that one has performed physical or emotional harm on another, whereas shame is a negative reaction derived from others knowing that the individual did something wrong. See, the knowledge kind of jumps out at you. The knowledge of the act. Shame may be more impactful emotion than guilt because it affects one's identity, whereas guilt affects one's behavior. Feelings of guilt are a prompt for behavioral responses to make amends, such as asking for forgiveness, being empathic, and engaging in reparative actions to reinforce social connectedness. Shame, well, that is associated with an individual's sense of self in a non favorable way. If one's identity is important to them, the experience of shame can be more distressing and painful than feelings of guilt. Someone is saying, I think one leads to the other. Well, we'll see. That's a possibility too. One could quite possibly lead to the other. If one's identity is important to them, the experience of shame can be more distressing and painful than feelings of guilt. And remember, there's a slight difference between the two. One is saying, I did a bad thing, and the other one is saying, I am a bad person. Shame can lead to depression and social dysfunction. It has been proposed that there are two important factors that relate to how guilt and shame can be positively addressed. If an individual believes that one's self is malleable, the person is more likely to engage in reparative behaviors, such as taking responsibility for committing harm and being motivated to change in a positive way. Moreover, by receiving acceptance, understanding, and compassion from others, the individual can now accept their own failures and be self-compassionate. Remember, we talk about the taking care of self. We often move away from that, and self gets neglected. But taking care of self is very important. Here's the thing. If one believes that repair is unattainable or even difficult, engaging in reparative behavior is unlikely, resulting in the person remaining socially avoidant, distressed, defensive, and feeling stigmatized. That can't be a pleasant feeling at all, no, can it? Researchers have found that early shame experiences and a lack of feeling safe as loved as a child can be traumatic, and it can affect one's identity and how we relate. The experiences may actually carry over into adulthood, generating symptoms of depression. And moreover, these individuals may not only view their own sense of self as being inferior, worthless, or flawed. They may believe that others may also see them that way. So now they're projecting their own beliefs of themselves onto others. Not that anybody else believe what they think, but they feel that they do. When shame causes serious emotional difficulties, for those with or without early traumatic shame experiences, treatment should be considered. In addition to treating depression, there's a suggestion of certain interventions for individuals. Being in a supportive treatment relationship. That's one of the things that is suggested. A few others include encouraging the belief that one's self-identity can be changed. Remember how we often say, whatever is not growing Well, if it is not changing, it is not growing. Whatever is not growing is stagnant. Whatever is stagnant is dead. So, once you encourage the belief that one's self identity can be changed, you're recognizing that there can be growth. Developing characteristics and abilities that promote treating oneself with kindness, warmth, and compassion is something else. And discouraging avoidance by encouraging the individual to not only approach those who are affected by the shameful act, but also not to avoid one's own painful feelings of shame. How often do we just wallow in that self-pity kind of a deal? We just stay stuck in it. Encouraging the belief that repair of the wrongdoing may not only make it up to those who are offended, but may also restore social belonging. Important ways to treat situations that could develop into depression as a result of feeling shame. It is important to remember that bad behavior does not always equate to a bad person. We all perform misdeeds and can feel bad about doing so. The essential issue is to recognize what we have done, make amends, and learn from our experiences so that we refrain from repeating such harms. Self-forgiveness is key to moving beyond guilt and shame. In addition, having a sense of who we are and how we wish to be perceived by valued, and when you talk about valued others, how we wish to be perceived by valued others can help in maintaining pro-social behavior and interpersonal relationships. Guilt and shame serve as emotional, cognitive, and behavioral triggers, signaling the need for realignment. That self-forgiveness is I believe, one of the most difficult things to attain. Because we're so critical of ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves that the whole idea of saying, you know what, I forgive me. Me, Kevin Stew, I've had the experience where I have wronged someone. And those of you who saw my post about tonight's show, those feelings were my own feelings. So this particular show I can relate to in a very personal way. Having that guilt, having that shame, the knots inside, the not being able to express that feeling that you're having, the wanting to go hide away under some rock somewhere. I've had those feelings. That's been very real for me. And I think, how many others have had those feelings? How many others have had those experiences? What did you do to move past that? Have you moved past it? Do you know where it's coming from? Have you taken the time out to pay attention to it any at all? That's why we're looking at guilt and shame tonight. Because some of you might have seen that meme that I had put out earlier this week, that guilt and shame are real killers. Well, if you think about it, they are. There are some people who have withdrawn from society to the point where they can't stand the pain that they're feeling within themselves. And they figure the only way out is to check out. And these people end up committing suicide. All coming from guilt and shame. You have those who have just become reclusive. You have those who have decided to never allow themselves to relate to people in the same way that they did before. All from possibly one experience. Maybe it was that one experience where they disappointed a parent. Maybe it was they disappointed their best friend. Either way, they disappointed someone in their mind that really mattered. And they felt that there was no way for that to be repaired. Whether it is the person moved away or they lost contact, whichever way it was, the person died. The person became mute. Whatever happened, the ability to communicate with that person the way that they used to doesn't happen anymore. And there's a feeling of not having been able to redeem self. The thought that the last thought that that individual has of me, whomever that me is that I'm a bad person, and I'm not a bad person. That's a crushing feeling. What if that person was your partner? What could happen to that relationship? Your spouse, your business partner. What could happen to that relationship? Is there a way that you could possibly fix it? Is there a way to prevent it from ruining your relationship? Well, we'll see. We're going to take a quick little break and come back and find out. Call a friend, tell a friend. Come on into the stew pot. Interact with us. We're talking about guilt and shame right here on Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Pulsey Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsey Media Group.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This non-profit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
I'm Khalib Thompson.
I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin Stew at the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show, Christine. This is a hot it up. Loud. Kill the beast.
And roses by bottles of champagne. Your favorite, I'm great at keeping a promise. Wrote letters, 10 pages to tell ya I'm in it, I wanna stay. And I'll show you in every way. You're skeptical still, well, I'm loving on you. And I'm super confused how my actions don't convince you. You're skeptical still, so I'll remind you. If I loved you, you know you couldn't mistake it if you tried. If I loved you, you know you'd see it even if you're blind. It's bigger than the world, deeper than the ocean, hotter than the sun, lower than the love. So if I love you, you know. Get takeout, stop binging on old films. Get dressed up, we go out. It's hard to make a choice. We're both indecisive. All I know, I'm in it, I wanna stay. And I'll show you in every way. You're skeptical still, well, I'm loving on you. And I'm super confused how my actions don't convince you. You're skeptical still, so I'll remind you. You're not alone. If I loved you, you know you couldn't mistake it if you tried. If I loved you, you know you'd see it even if you're blind. It's bigger than the world.
You'd see it even if you're blind. if I loved you. This is the sound of Royce. I want to say thanks to Althea and her healing heavenly hands. Althea LSU is a licensed massage therapist, and the L doesn't stand for licensed. Not as far as I know. But Althea is a licensed massage therapist that operates out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, has her table, has her oils, and of course her healing heavenly hands. Give her a call, 954-655-9000, or send her an email, thealater@att.net. Say, hey, Miss Thea, listen, when can you come and do this massage thing? Because, you know, I'm in need. I can tell you this. You'll be getting your massage after I get mine. If you're just joining in, welcome. It's Real Talk Wednesday, also known as Marlon's favorite night shift show. Yeah, best if I love you, you will know. Even if you're blind, you will see it. Tonight we're talking about guilt and shame. And we're looking at various aspects of it and understanding what it is and recognizing it and moving out of it and how you get into it. And we'll touch as much of it as we can before we get into our musical therapy a little bit later on. On the line we have... Hello?
Hello.
Oh, there you are. So, what? Because it's your segment, you feel the need to call?
No, you weren't. Hey, it's anonymous, okay? It's not a judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. But no, I kind of like. I saw the post.
Yeah.
And I literally contemplated. I'm gonna call it. No, I'm not gonna call it. And it's like having that internal battle. But have you ever been in a situation, whether it's at church or you go to a function or something where a speaker gets up and there could be 100,000 people in that room?
I think I know where this is going.
When that speaker starts talking, forget the 999,999 other people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the spotlight goes on you. And you're like, why did this speaker, preacher, whoever, single out me to get up there and talk about?
Mm-hmm. Not even realizing that this person doesn't know you.
Oh, that has nothing to do with it. Who says anything about knowing it? All is going through your mind at that moment, or all that goes through my mind at that moment is, how dare them? How dare them get up there and put me on the spot like that? And a funny thing happened when the phone was ringing. I'm like, don't pick up, don't answer. Oh, man, God, he answered, so I can't hang up now.
Nope. No getting away from it at this point.
Yeah, I'm a glutton. I'm a glutton for punishment like that. But anyway, enough with the small talk. But, you know, I'm listening to you at the introduction, and like I shared before, I was fighting the urge not to call in and share, and I really don't know exactly what's going to come out of my mouth next, but the one thing that I do know for sure is that I'm not the only one in this situation, but I know I'm one of the ones who's bold enough to call in and share. And when it comes to guilt and shame, I don't know if there's one person that is walking the face of this earth right now that can say that they've never experienced one or the other or both.
Mm-hmm.
And from my experience, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that happens in your life, and I think the defining factor would be how you deal with it.
Mm.
And the way I was raised has a lot to do with what I consider. And sometimes I have a difficult time deciphering whether my feelings are feelings of guilt or feelings of shame because of the things that I'm exposed to now that I wasn't exposed to, whether it was growing up or even during my younger days.
Okay.
And, and now that I'm like, wait a second, I met this person, and for whatever reason, this person has decided to share parts of them with me. But the subject matter or the things that they're talking about that they want to share, it's giving me that feeling that I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. And then I'm thinking, oh, wait a second, I heard about that specific thing back when I was not so evolved.
I like that.
And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know anything. No, that's not how people are supposed to be. That's not how women are supposed to be. That's not how men are supposed to be. That's not how people in relationships are supposed to be. So I would say that my first inkling was to feel ashamed.
Oh, why though?
Primarily because,
Oh.
getting there, primarily because I was never exposed to it before. Or if I was, it was not in a positive way. It was always had a negative connotation to it.
But that.
And
Sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead, ask your question because it may be the answer. My next statement may be the answer.
Well, looking at how guilt and shame are defined, the guilt is the I did a bad thing kind of a deal, and the shame is I am a bad person.
Oh, we're about to get to we're about to get to the part where I feel like I'm a bad person. So,
Oh, okay.
but
You mean like
because it's
Michael Jackson
something,
bad or Janet Jackson nasty?
yes, and both.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be quiet now.
Yeah. Okay, but the fact that it was something that, number one, was new to me, it felt uncomfortable based on how I was conditioned. I felt ashamed.
Mm.
And to me that came natural. And by the person sharing with me or by me being exposed, it kind of piqued my interest. And I'm like, when you have that thought bubble.
Mm.
And sometimes I would catch myself and like, whoa, what is that bubble doing up there? This is not what I'm used to. This is like way out of my comfort zone. What am I doing even entertaining the idea of I want to know more? this is intriguing. This is, you know, it's just that feeling that I got that I am not going to turn away from it. Then that's for me. That's where the guilt came in. Like, how dare you want to know more about this? This is out of your league. This is out of your comfort zone. You know, why do you want to know more about this forbidden? And I'm doing air quotes right now when I say forbidden.
That's the I did a bad thing part of it. Getting into this is
Yeah,
how, that's a bad thing. I shouldn't be doing
yeah.
that.
I know. Why am I even entertaining the idea of wanting to know more about this forbidden thing that I was raised to think that it's wrong, it's it's not good. You're a girl. Girls don't think like that, and you're gonna go to hell if you think. Oh my gosh!
Mm.
All of those emotions came over me, and for the most part, I am going to say that I allowed that fear of the unknown to dominate most of my early adulthood.
Okay. That
And go ahead.
that's a long time to decide that you're going to feel like what you're doing is a bad thing.
Okay, apparently we were raised in two different households, two different communities, two different families. Or it was just one of those things that when you come across things that you're unfamiliar with, people that you're unfamiliar with, you have no, I wasn't even taught that you had two options. You can either accept them or condemn them.
Mm.
I was only exposed to, okay, so you look different from me, you think different from me, you act different from me, therefore you are different from me, so you go over there and I'll stay over here.
Which means if you decide to do something with any of them, then you're doing something bad.
I am condemning myself. I'm associating with the condemned.
Gotcha.
Therefore, I am condemning myself.
So now you become that bad also.
Yes.
Hence the shame.
So, hence the shame. So, I was like, a minute, but I want to know more. I was never content with, okay, there's that young lady out there. She looks this way. She's confident. She just does this and she does that. Why does she do it? Why can't I do that?
Mm.
Oh, because that's not what respectable, and again I'm doing air quotes, respectable young ladies do. But why not? I like I like what she's doing. I think about what she's doing and it's different, and I like people who are different. I like people who stand out from the crowd. I don't like conformity. So every time that I would find myself trying to explore, trying to get more information on something that I saw that was different from what I was accustomed to,
You'd hide and get that
I would get
information.
literally that's what I had to do because I'm thinking that, okay, let me go to this person who I think might have valuable information for me, but then I'll get no. What do you want to know that for? Or you don't need to know that, or that's bad, or that's wrong. And because I would more than likely go to people at the time from my perspective, who I thought were people of authority, authoritative figures in my life,
Right.
I would be like, okay, well, they're this old, they're this position, they do this and this, so they must know what they're talking about. So you know what? They must be giving me the right advice. So let me just not pursue it anymore. Let me just go back to my narrow-minded way of thinking. And
What they're saying must be good because,
yeah, it must be good. It must be right because it's coming from them.
right. So if I accept that information and run with that, then there's nothing to be guilty of. There's nothing to be
No,
ashamed of.
nothing to be ashamed of because Mrs. Jones is this, and Mrs. Jones said, all right, well, this is how this situation is, and this is how I dealt with it, and this is what it's supposed to be. So I literally, at some point in my life, started to take that stuff as gospel. But then there was always that, yeah, I hear what they're saying, and I could see it from their perspective, but there was still that curiosity there.
Right.
For the most part, growing up, having other responsibilities, such as a family, work, community responsibilities, life kind of like got in the way, and I stepped away from that part of my life to focus on what I thought was my primary focus.
So now you're
But
raising young lives with this same type of shame and guilt association.
it did not go away. I'm expecting that, okay, I'm getting older. I'm supposed to be getting wiser. But these same issues keep popping up. Why did it not go away? And, okay, dummy, you didn't deal with it. You didn't, not necessarily fix it, but it's still hanging out there. And it's not something that you resolved or whatever. So what do you think? If you're going to wish it away so it's going to go away? Not.
So
Go ahead.
one of the funny things about something like guilt is, according to psychology today, they say guilt is one of those things that never feels good, but it can be useful. It can be a useful emotion. It signals us that something that we're doing, something we're about to do, is just not the right thing to do because it might cause someone harm. And with that in mind, then we decide that we're going to avoid the thing. Or, if we actually do it, we immediately start thinking, okay, what apology am I going to follow this up with? How am I going to atone for this wrongdoing? Because
Or how am I gonna explain my way out of this one?
right. So that and that is coming from a mindset of that thing that you're doing
It's wrong.
is wrong.
Yeah.
So the guilt is even there before you've done it.
Right.
Now,
And
taking your own battles into parenthood, are these some of the things that you subconsciously impart on your children?
not intentionally. And I say that because and let me put this out there as a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
I am in no way blaming anybody, especially my parents, the way I was raised
Right.
because they did the best that they could with what they had to produce what people see today.
Mm. They worked
And
with they worked with what they knew.
yeah,
Right.
but, you know, as I started to develop and mature and being exposed to certain different things, a lot of things that my my parents, the community that raised me, I had questions about, and without me getting clarification that benefited me, that suited me, where I no longer had that urge to learn more, I was like, wait a second. I made, and I don't like the word promise because I heard it from a very wise person, and I still hear it that says, "Promise is a comfort to a fool."
Mm.
Um, I like to say that I made a proclamation or a deal or something with myself that I was not going to raise my children the way that I was raised.
Mm.
Not again saying that there was anything wrong with the way my parents raised me, but two things I had to factor in. My children were not me.
Yes.
And the era slash generation that I was raised in is not the same where I'm raising my children.
Very true.
It,
Different times.
there were, yeah, different times, calls for different measures.
Mm-hmm.
There were things that I did as a child that I wished there were different outcomes. And that bothered me to some extent.
That
That
sounds like it could
if
lead to
I
some
want
really exciting stories.
another show, but you know, raising two young ladies, I'm like, wait a second. This thing happened to me, and the way it turned out, I didn't like it. So I need to find a different way to deal with it with my girls. And if my daughters are going to come to me and said, "Okay, mommy, I want to do this," and if I went that way to my parents, it was going to be and my mother, God bless her heart. I never heard that woman say hell or damn or anything like that in my whole life.
Mm.
So these are not
Except
her
when reading the
words.
Bible, right?
No, are you crazy? No, no, my mommy does not use those words.
Not even when reading them in the Bible?
Oh gosh, no, she would skip over that stuff.
See,
Not literally.
that's that guilt and shame kind of stuff coming right back right there. That's it right there.
You know, it's in the Bible. You live by the Bible. You do this, but there's a word that shows up in the Bible
Mm-hmm.
that I have never to this day. I am years old, and I have never heard those words come out of my mother's mouth.
You said you're 3 years old.
Yes. Okay. So I'd be like, no, I am not going to subject my children to this because I know how it made me feel when I was put in that situation.
Yeah.
And no, I am not going to subject my children to that same type of behavior. Now, you can ask any one of them, and if they were here right now, I would put them on the spot. I am about as strict as a parent
Mm.
as they come. There are certain morals that my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, whoever instilled in me, that there's some non-negotiables. And I kind of like took those values, those morals, those non-negotiables, but I had to tweak them and fine-tune them a little bit
Mm-hmm.
so that I could raise two beautiful, well-rounded, free-spirited young ladies.
You see that right there, free spirited. It. Let me ask you this: when the first time you did one of those things that was considered to be one of the bad things by one of your role models, how did you feel about it?
Scared,
But you did it.
guilty.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
how did you get over that guilt of doing that thing? If you can pick out one of those things and just
Well,
focus on it.
it was the first time that I remember saying to my oldest daughter that trying to get them to share with me and not to tell me, not to lie to me or tell me things that are not true.
Mm.
And I said that for years. And this is how I put it to them. Please come to me and tell me the truth. I'm not saying that if you tell me the truth or tell me exactly how it happened that you're not going to suffer consequences. But just know that the consequences are going to be greater. They're going to be painful. I am going to be hell on wheels if you come to me or if I find out after the fact that you did XYZ and you chose to keep that from me.
Okay.
So my oldest daughter, one day, I don't even remember what she got in trouble in school for. And she came home and it took every ounce, everything she had in her just to tell me. And it wasn't anything. She didn't get in a fight. She didn't cheat on a test. She didn't shoot anybody. She didn't threaten to blow up the school. It was nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see the struggle that she had was like, oh my God, Mommy wants me to tell her the truth, but if I tell her the truth based on the mommy that I know, she is going to whoop my behind. She's going to yell and scream and everything. And without her saying all of that, I just saw the struggle. And when she told me what it was, I was like, oh, okay. And I just went back to doing what I was doing because I'm like, inside, I was like, oh my God, she told me. I'm so excited. I can't react. And she just stood there like waiting for me to react in another way. And she walked up. She goes, Mommy, did you hear me? I said, yeah. And I just went back to what I was doing. She got even closer and touched me and go, Mommy, did you hear me?
Mm.
And I was like, yeah. And over my shoulder, I kind of glanced at her. She walked away and she was like, man, she's telling me the truth. I did something that I knew I wasn't supposed to do. I caved and I told her about it. She didn't beat my behind. She didn't freak out. She goes, maybe she is telling me the truth after all. And from that moment on, I'm like, all right, I need to start living up to this expectation that if they come to me and they tell me up front,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Mommy, I did this, whatever. Okay. You cheat on a test, you got in a fight, you got whatever, all right, this is the punishment. And the punishment is not because of you, the punishment is for what you did.
Okay.
And I would always make that clear. So that is the first time that I actually decided to get out of this guilt and shame thing of the way I was raised. And when I made that commitment to myself that I was not going to raise my children that way,
Mm.
that was the first step that I took.
So that was an experience of observing guilt and shame in someone else that you cared for. What
Yeah.
about when you did something that you were guilty of? That you felt that guilt. To
Well,
how did you deal with
that was,
that for yourself?
that was that wasn't so easy because someone else called me out on it, and I was like, well, when you're at a loss for words,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, I'm busted. I
So
can't lie my way out of this.
you did something and someone else
Mhm.
said, but you know or you say that doing that is wrong, but you went ahead and did it anyway.
Yes, yeah, basically.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, when you can't find the right words to say to kind of like talk your way out of a situation,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and you're like, oh damn, I'm busted. The tongue tied, and yeah, that happened. And let me back up. I did admit to it, but then I came up with an excuse instead of saying, you know what, I did it. I messed up. Yeah, just blatantly coming out, admitting to it, not even with any explanation or any excuses, was just I did it. Me, I was the queen of excuses. But see, I did it, but this is, with a million and one explanation trying to exonerate myself.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for picking me out of your how many listeners to like just put me on the spot.
Hey, you know what? You called.
I try to hang up, but then you answered the phone.
Oh, so it's my fault though, because I answered the phone.
You could have ignored it.
Well, tell you what. I have a little bit of information, a little bit more information with addressing guilt and how we can, some ways that we can keep guilt from ruining our relationships. And this information you can apply it to your Marlon in the part is saying I love the sharing. Yeah, for real. That's a part of what this is all about, Marlon. You know this. Um,
Thanks,
and
Marlon.
it is a judgment free zone. So nobody can judge you, and I definitely won't judge you because I am waiting patiently for my next massage. So I might wait until after the massage and then beg forgiveness. But
Well, listen, I'm also developing a judgment-free zone, and whatever you share before your massage will have no outcome on the experience for your massage.
you see that right there? That's some growth right there. That is some growth right there.
And there's one more thing that I would like to share before I forget. And you made mention you made mention to it before you went on the break is the self forgiveness. You know,
Mm.
we are so much harder on ourselves than anyone else. And from my experience, it was unnecessary because other people, like, you did what? You did that? They had no idea. They weren't even aware while I'm over here
Dying
beating
inside.
myself up.
But
Yeah,
this is exactly
literally.
what happened with your daughter. She was there dying inside about what it was that she did, not realizing that you would have been more accepting and forgiving with the information than she thought.
Yeah, but we are not true to ourselves, number one. And when
Yes.
we do something that may go against our beliefs, our upbringing, the way we're raised,
The way we were conditioned.
we, yeah, oh, I love that word, conditioned. You know, we beat ourselves up over it and we don't forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of things that I have yet to forgive myself for. But I would like to give myself credit that I've started the process. And for anyone else out there who's listening, forgive yourself. It's not that serious. You can get over it. And until you learn how to forgive yourself, if there are others in your life that you perceive that have wronged you, there is no way that you are going to be able to truly forgive that person until you have truly forgiven yourself.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to know that you've truly forgiven yourself. And I can't tell you what that is. You will know when you have really forgiven yourself. And when you forgive yourself, you will start to learn how to love and accept yourself. And there's still stuff-ish that's gonna come up.
Mm-hmm.
But the more that you practice this, you may never get it perfect. But the more that you practice it, the easier it will be to deal with that ish when it does come up.
This is true. Thank you, Miss Thea. Thank you very much for sharing with us, for taking us on this journey through some of your personal guilts and episodes of shame. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. And if I can just, if just one person that's listening to me that this helps, including myself, then I know that this was the good thing to do and this was not in vain. So, good night. I am going to tune in to the rest of the show to listen to the rest of your awesome information that you have to share.
Okay. I thank you much. All right.
Good night.
Catch you in the in the stew pot. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Thea. All right. So, real quickly before we get into our musical therapy, because musical therapy is not gonna miss us tonight. We had an awesome time in musical therapy last night, and we're looking to have as much of an awesome time tonight. Now, guilt can help us to maintain and preserve our most valuable relationships, believe it or not. But it can only do it if the signals it sends are accurate. Not the misleading ones, the accurate one. Marlon say, I'd feel guilty after the massage. I don't know, Marlon. It all depends. But guilty feelings are beneficial only when they're triggered for good reasons. And you might think, if it is a guilty feeling, then what can the good reason be? Well, imagine living in a house with a faulty smoke detector that went off whenever someone lit a candle or turned on the oven. Every time you heard the screeching alarm, you'd worry that something bad was happening. You'd drop whatever you were doing, and you'd run over there with the anticipation of expecting an emergency. Now, living in that house would make anyone feel tense. They'd be on edge, irritable, and stressed out. Even if you believed your family members were entitled to bake a cake or light a candle, then you'd probably feel resentful toward them for doing it. So it was likely to trigger the smoke detector. So hence the feeling of being resentful, because you don't want the smoke detector going off. Being guilt prone is like having an overactive smoke detector inside your head. Besides the visceral discomfort that it causes, excessive guilt is distracting and can seriously hamper your ability to concentrate and focus. Further, because the mechanism that triggers your guilt is set incorrectly, the messages your guilty feelings convey are often inaccurate and misleading. The frequency of these erroneous signals make you perceive yourself as someone who repeatedly fails, or someone who repeatedly hurts others. You might live in constant dread of their criticism and disapproval, and over time feeling as though you're consistently disappointing those around you can erode your self-esteem and make you feel unentitled to voice any complaints or dissatisfactions of your own when you have them. You are also likely to develop deep feelings of resentment that you keep bottled up until they explode in fits of anger, anguish, or both. Here it is in the stew pot. Someone is saying, I would always think that the worst was going to happen in every situation. Not just some, in every situation. In addition to the internal distress that being guilt-prone creates, it also impacts your relationships. You may create self-fulfilling prophecies that unwittingly reinforce the erroneous messages your guilty feelings convey. Consider this scenario. You finish a long, exhausting day at work. Your excessive guilt kicks in, and you spend your entire commute home feeling bad about missing dinner with your family, and anticipating that your partner is annoyed, even though you let them know that you would be working late and that you felt bad about it, and even though they gave you no indication that they were upset. By the time you get home, you're stressed, you're defensive, you're resentful, and you greet your partner stiffly. Now, depending on the situation, that stiff greeting to your partner might be a fun one, but that's not what they meant. You greet your partner tense. They react to your strained greeting with a strained response of their own. That now confirms your suspicions that they were annoyed, even though they were perfectly fine up until that moment of greetings. this only makes you feel more guilty. It makes you feel more resentful. You may not realize that your overactive guilt made you act in a way that created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just like what was just said in the stew pot. Literally just said in the stew pot. As a result of having the idea that the worst was going to happen in every situation, they would create a situation to bolster that feeling. And that was the justification for them. So, how do you move from this place of stress, this place of where you're fueling this self-fulfilling prophecy of being this bad person, doing this bad thing? Well, it was the guilt, so it's doing the bad thing. Well, you want to accept the signal is faulty. Accept that fact first. You have to accept that the signal your guilt sends you is just not what it really is. Consider the option that you haven't done something wrong, even though your insides are telling you that you have, or that the other person is not upset with you at all, even though you've convinced yourself that they are. And, we have to recognize that that won't be true all the time. But it'll be true some of the times. And so what you need to do is to recognize that and verify that your wrongdoing is real in the times when they are. In order to assess whether your guilt is misleading you, try the thought that where you imagine the situation is reversed and that you and the other person have switched roles. So imagine that using the scenario of working late, imagine that it was your partner that was working late and they called you to let you know that they would be home late, and they felt bad about missing dinner. Would you feel angry that they were working late? Or would you appreciate their hard work and the fact that they took the time out to call to let you know that this was happening? Would you feel they deserved a cold shoulder when they got home? Or would you be drawn to giving them extra care and attention? A little bit of extra affection even. If you literally put yourself in other person's shoes and conclude that you wouldn't be angry at your partner for working late, then you have to assume that your partner would not be angry at you for doing the same thing. Here it is. Things began to change when I stopped predicting the outcome. Yeah. Leave them be. Which takes us to our third thing. Ignore the erroneous message and smile a while. When you conclude that your guilt is sending you an incorrect message, label your guilt as a false alarm. Ignore it as best as you can and make a fresh effort to have a positive attitude in order to avoid creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because remember now, in your head on the way home, you're saying that this is going to be one rough evening. I'm going to get home and my family is going to be upset that I missed dinner. When your family is there just hoping that you make it home safely. And just waiting to tell you when you walk in the door, all right, just go shower, let me warm up your food for you. because I know you had a rough day. Imagine just killing that negative thought right there where it developed. What a difference that could make. A difference for you, the individual, and a difference for your relationship. When you recognize that, yes, you know what? I did something wrong. And you sincerely apologize for it because you realized. And, you know, the other part of it is that wrong thing that you did might not have been a wrong thing, but it didn't go over so well with the person that received it. So, in their eyes, they didn't like it. And now you're taking on that guilt in the worst possible way. Blessings, Gary Dixon. Welcome to the show. This is where we tell ourselves that, you know what? We can forgive and get past this. I can forgive myself for having done that thing that I did to you. And you can forgive me. And I know that that's the other part of it. Remember switching the roles? You being the person that you so love, this partner, this friend, this family member, that if you were the one that did something to them, you'd want them to forgive you. So if they did something to you, you'd be so willing to forgive them. And that's the role reversal. Those are the little role reversals that can help to save our relationships. And the relationships that we want to save are not just the relationships that we have with others, but the relationships that we have with ourselves. That relationship is even more important. Because we're our worst critics. We are our worst judges. We're our worst juries. And God forbid you call out the executioner in us, on us. That's it. There's almost no coming back from that. But when you learn to forgive self, you can't forgive someone else until you can truly forgive yourself. And recognizing that guilt, recognizing that shame, and addressing it accordingly. When you realize, you know what? I don't need to be guilty. Because that thing, though perceived as a bad thing, I didn't do a bad thing. And if it was a bad thing, I didn't mean to do a bad thing. Now, if you meant to do it as a bad thing, then that's different. You have no reason to feel guilty about that either, because that was your intention. But that thing that you didn't intend to do that caused some pain, and you're feeling guilty about it, that needs to be addressed. And you telling yourself that, you know what, I'm always doing a bad thing. I'm always doing that thing that causes pain. I must be that bad person. That shame, that self-shaming, well, you need to squash that too. Because even a broken clock tells the time, gets the time right twice a day. You can't always be this bad person. And when we recognize those things, we can learn to move past the guilt. We can learn to move past the shame. We can rebuild our relationships and we can strengthen our relationships. The guilt and shame arise to cause you to do further research. Well, it did cause me to do some research, I can tell you that. As well as it should do for each and every one of us. Because like Althea said, there's none of us walking the face of this earth that have not experienced the guilt or the shame. And without shame or apology at this point in time, I say, you know what? We're going to move into our musical therapy. Because there's no thing like therapy. And if you have not had therapy of any sort, you need to start. Whether it be physical therapy, emotional therapy, psychological therapy, whatever therapy, you know we are all broken vessels in need of repair. And if there's one bit of therapy that I recommend to everybody, you look about your general health, you go and get your annual checkup, you check your blood pressure, you check your whatever, your blood pressure, your eyesight, your heart, you check all these things, but you leave out your mind. Get your mental checkup. Because this is important. I want to thank Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring the previous segment. Reggae Global Entertainment will act as your booking agents. They can arrange your tour management. They take care of your trademarks, your publishing, your copyrights, their marketing and productions, marketing and promotions, their musical productions. There's so much more. Give them a call. See what they can do for you. 954-998-8034. That's 954-998-8034. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And I want to say thank you also to GMAT Music Solutions, sponsors for this segment. What is this segment? Our musical therapy segment. And we'll kick it off with a little bit of Ed Robinson. Because guess what? We have loves that are in need of love today.
Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love in need of love today. Oh, don't delay, send yours in right away. Oh, because hate's going round, breaking many hearts. Oh Lord, stop it please, before it's gone too far. Yeah. The force of evil plan to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. must take precautionary measures. If peace and love you treasure, then hear me when I say that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Don't you know that hate's going round, and it's breaking hearts? Oh, we all gotta stop it. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Oh, yeah. Love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in.
I want to say thanks to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Can you believe hate's going?
GMAT Music Solutions provides you with sound, light, and production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and so much more. They bring your event to life. Give them a call, 754-307-4622. Quick way to remember it, 754-307 GMAC.
Send yours in right away.
You can also visit them at gmatmusicsolutions.com.
And it's breaking hearts. It's breaking hearts. Stop this, please. Stop this, please, before it goes way too far.
This is Kevin German. When Jesus loves you back.
And be loved in return. It's the only thing that my heart desires. Just appreciate the little things I do. Oh, you're the one who's got me inspired. People
This is from the Inspirational Love Songs collection. Masterpiece. Courtesy of the TTM Collective. I want to say big ups to the producer, Mr. Gary Dixon, hanging out in the stew pot right now.
we can build a world of love and love of joy. Make a holy childless happiness. I will do for you anything that I can. Oh, every day I wanna do a little more, just a little bit more. It's so good, loving my Jesus. When my Jesus loved me back, and that's a fact. It's so good, hey, hey, wanting my Jesus, and my Jesus wants me back. Said it's so good, oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, to be loved and be loved in return. It's the only thing that my heart desires. Just appreciate the little things I do. Oh, you're the one who's got me inspired. Keep on lifting me higher. Hey, loving my Jesus. When my Jesus loves me back, and that's a fact. It's so good, needing my Jesus, and my Jesus leads me back. Now say not a 70-30, not a 60-40. Talking about 100% off my love. Yeah, yeah. It's so good, oh
This is the sound of Dangling. Track is called This Lifetime.
Bedtime story to a little child. Oh, na, na, na. This lifetime won't be enough to give you all this love. I'm feeling inside, it's spiraling up. One life won't be enough to love you. Bang boom bang bang, bang boom bang bang, bang boom bang bang, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bang boom bang bang, bang boom bang bang, bang boom bang bang, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you set my soul on fire, and I found my heart's desire when I met you, like a memory to a prisoner of a better time. You're like a cool shady tree in the summertime when the sun is high. Whoa, na na na. This lifetime won't be enough to give you all this love. I'm feeling inside, spiraling up. One life won't be enough to love you. Yeah, one more one. More lifetime still wouldn't be enough for this I love love enough so till it a pile up it pile up about a mile up oh me oh mama, I'm so blessed you're mine, you're a gift to I and I from the most high and I. This lifetime won't be enough to give you all this love. I'm feeling inside, spiraling up. One life won't be enough to love you.
You know, some things that you never thought you'd experience in this lifetime. Let me take you for a little walk down memory lane.
I just fear fun.
This is Frano. It's called Good Old Days. Now, imagine, listen to the words.
My couch reminiscing, thinking about the good old days at when we sit in the fire. We used to go fishing and we fry out the catch in the outside kitchen. We used to go a river, but catch perch and jungle. And then we catch a fire, and run a boat with sauce of long food and flour. We used to wash our clothes and dry them from big stones. And then we swim all day till we hide them when we had wrinkle up like prawns. Reflecting on my life and thinking now about the good old days. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's hard, but the simple things in life they got us to the face. I know money now you can wipe those memories. We get friends for those days. No money now you can wipe those memories. We used to play rubber ball cricket, 3 pieces of bamboo stick make them wicked. The bat them a coconut bunker use make it if your LBW the umpire juke it on. I remember when we used to spend our
In a clean white sun in an autobay. Yeah, yeah. And I remember Sunday dinner chicken rice and peas. Carrot Kingston Square. Had a little milk and Guinness. Yeah.
I got you that G Cole.
Remember sitting in the trains, eating star apple and chilling in the cool Jamaican breeze. Reflecting on my life, I'm thinking about the good old days. Yeah, 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 yeah. Times are hard, but the simple things in life, they got us to the face. And nobody now can wipe those memories. But get free for those days. Yo, nobody now can wipe those memories. Reflecting on my life, I'm thinking I'm on the good old days. And nobody now can wipe those memories. Nobody now can wipe those memories.
I'm lying here by the radio, running tune after tune like a disco. I close my eyes, I can hear the soul of the music coming up, how the vibes flow. Coming with a big tune.
This is a dazzling one. Shauna Dazzle.
I just can't sit still, I could dance this one out. Oh, Mr. DJ,
Member of that dynamic South Florida group, Sensational Dynamic Sound.
Mr. DJ, play the one again.
This one's called Mr. DJ.
This one fit forward, pull it back again. I tell you what, it might just be music, but there's somebody I can't refuse it. Love is rock gospel, it no matter how they know it's when them talk, you have the answer. Listen now, them a play a love song, and we can't wait to do it with you. R&B, soca, hip-hop, dance, and we can't let them be attacked. Conscious music to cleanse your mind, mix it up every time you please me. Them a hype up the place and the music just sweet me. Oh, Mr. DJ, play that one again. Oh, this one fit forward, pull it back again. Oh, Mr. DJ, play that one again. Oh,
Where did the time go? 10 minutes to go?
back again. Oh, Mr. DJ.
Yeah, Shauna Dazzle will be pulling this one back up again.
This one fit forward, pull it back again. Play that one again. Pull it back again. I'm lying here by my radio, running tune after tune like a disco. I close my eyes, I can hear the soul of the music coming up, all the vibes flow. Coming with a big tune, with the niceness fill up the room. I just can't sit still, I could dance this one out. Oh, Mr. DJ, play that one again. Oh, this one fit forward, pull it back again. Oh, Mr. DJ.
So we got 8 minutes to go.
Oh, this one.
And I got a perfect request out of the stew pot. This is my brother from another mother, Mr. Gregory Cole, aka G Cole. Host of Homegrown with G Cole. You can catch him tomorrow.
There are anomalies that happy. Oh, baby. Every once upon a time.
This one is called Imperfect People.
Like the way my heart was beating. Oh, that special night, your pretty eyes met mine. The world will never see it. No, baby. We're from totally different worlds. Oh, yeah. But if only they could feel it, they would understand how much I love you, girl. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Let's just be those two links, baby, that will form that perfect shape. Yeah. I'm not your daddy's favorite, nah, baby, and your mom's no fan of mine. Oh, let's just do our thing and show the world our love can stand the test of time. Whoa, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, no special sign from above, no special sign from above. We're just two imperfect people, yes, who felt perfectly in love. Our love is perfection. Now who's gonna love me, baby? Love me like you do. I don't care what the world might say. You're my love, and I was meant for you. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, no special sign from above, we're just two imperfect people, yes, who felt perfectly in love. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, no special sign from above.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue.
Remember, I mentioned the group Sensational Dynamic Sound. This is Suzanne Sultry with her rendition of Crazy.
Want you, and then someday you leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering, what in the world did I do? Crazy, for thinking that my love can hold you. I'm crazy for trying,
Okay, I only have a few minutes.
for crying, and I'm
So let me squeeze in another member of the Sensational Dynamic Sound. This is Naughty. Her rendition of Tonight is the Night. When this was released, it was released on the Friday.
that you made me on.
Betty Wright transitioned on the Sunday.
You said you'll be gentle with me, and I hope you will. I'm nervous and trembling, waiting for you to walk in. I'm trying hard to relax, but I just can't keep still. No, I can hear your car just slam. I wanna play a big girl and put on a sexy smile, but I know so little about what love is, and I just can't help acting like a child. You're knocking on my door and you're ringing my bell. Hope you're not impatient after waiting so very long. A whole year after
I can understand the knocking on the door.
and we're both old enough to know right from
Alright, I gotta get out of here. I want to thank you each and everyone for tuning in tonight and this week. Thank you for sharing.
that you make me up.
Thank you, Stu Potter, for making that monthly donation to the site.
You said you'll be gentle with me.
I want to encourage you to look out for members of your community. Community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. Especially with all that is happening right now, we need to look out for our neighbors. So whether you walk, ride, or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, the people that you pass along the way, these are your neighbors. Whether they're white, black, blue, purple, or pink.
Just can't keep still. No.
And as you go into the strong end, try to be good.
Hey, baby.
If you can't be good at it. This is SDS, Sensational Dynamic Sound. This is a single that had everybody bouncing. You've heard them individually. I'm going a little bit over tonight. This is them as a collective. My name is DJ Kevin Stew, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to midnight Eastern.
It's the same old story. You care, but you don't love me. Though I know it still hurts to hear the truth. Don't expect me to forget you. I love you, and I can't hold back the love I want to give to you. I know it isn't easy. I understand you're leaving, and I'm happy just to see you when I can. Do you understand my reasons? I love you, and a woman in love loves only one man. Just give me love when you
I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you good night.
I'll give you all that I have, completely. A woman in love needs only one man.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.